Hi, how's it going? I'm Luciano Ruas from the Brazilian Accent in Improvisation, and today I'm gonna improvise in a modern baião. This is a composition from the composer Edu Lobo. Edu Lobo was a friend of Tom Jobim, and he got this influence of bossa nova. He was younger than Tom Jobim. He got this influence and applied on the traditional music of his the state he was born, the music of Pernambuco. In Pernambuco we have, it's in the northeast part of Brazil, and you can hear for frevos, for cirandas, and another Brazilian styles, and the baião that is often played in all the northeast part of Brazil. We can recognize as modern because it's not a simple composition in terms of you can realize that it's not traditional. It's a different type of modal composition with different progressions, sus chords that are not familiar to the traditional Brazilian music, and I think it's a kind of darker baião. It's Casa Forte. It's a place in Pernambuco, and the state of Pernambuco. It's a part of the city, and let's see. Let me show you the composition. Often it starts with a and so it goes to the second part and starts with a So this is the composition, alright, and let's start improvising here. I always like to start by the main rhythms we can find in a composition that are first there are 80 notes with accent on the second 80 note. Alright, other important thing we can apply is to anticipate always the last eighth note to the next measure. Let's go. Alright, now you've heard me doing the anticipations, okay? Let's try to mixture some phrase with anticipation and others without, okay? Anticipations. Note that how interesting it sounds when you start to make a phrase without anticipation and transforming anticipation. Let's make this contrast again. Now with the anticipation. Let's do another phrase. too big, this phrase. It's not clear. I wasn't capable to realize to apply this idea. Let's do it slowly. So try to make that cross. All right, then we could use the 80 note, after that the 80 note with anticipation, and sometimes the contrast. Let's use the syncopation. And the syncopation I like to think in two ways. The syncopation as scales and another melodic movements, and after I prefer to study just repeated notes. Let's do as a scale from. Let's do the repeated notes. Look like how the 8 notes contrast good with the syncopation. You start doing syncopation. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And in forrós, we often use the 16th notes. You have to not to use so many a lot, because you're gonna lose language if you use so much. But the 16th note sounds very good also. Let's go to the second part. Just that beat. Okay, you can also put just notes on the upbeat. Let's see some characteristical cliches. This arpeggio of 7th is very common. There are a lot of different uses of this arpeggio, but it's very common. In the second part, we can take this arpeggio inside another chords. For example, E major 7, E flat major. We can are not playing a harmony, typical harmony of baiao, but we can do typical phrases inside the harmonies that are not typical. Like that, I took an arpeggio inside a major seventh chord, but I started from the third, and I took up a typical phrase, for example. Other typical phrase in baiao, it's this 7, 6, and 5. We can using them. We can search in the other chords and create this typical sounding like. For example, now I'm imitating a pífano, that is a flute played in northeast traditional music, and I'm searching inside the chords that, like I said, that aren't traditional, but I'm searching for places where I can create the same intervals that do the original phrase. Okay, that's how I search for sounding inside the language, but inside the language of a non-traditional theme. Okay, this is so common to use also phrase with pedal. Other interesting thing we can do, there is a pedal point here in this theme, a pedal point with D minor, and at the end of the theme we also, to turn around, we also have just D minor, and we can create some other we can create another chords. It's a pedal point where we can search for another harmonies. And if you are playing with a musician that has a good perception, sometimes he's gonna try to comp you to play the same chords or to maintain the pedal point, for example. And he's gonna go with you in this phrase. Okay. What else can I do? I have a also interesting rhythmic phrase, some rhythmic phrases that if you do and you are playing with Brazilian musicians or prepared people that knows Brazilian music, they are going to respond you. Okay, for example, if you do this phrase, they are going to, I'm sorry for the rhythm, let me do again. They are going to respond. You do one time. And if you repeat this phrase, they are going to make this answer, percussive answer. Let me do a little slower. They are going to respond with you. All right, that's it's another ending also that they people use to answer. If you do this kind of rhythm, cha cha cha, in the answer of a phrase, usually the musicians are going to respond. This is a very characteristic phrase used in baião themes and other traditional Brazilian music themes, and it's for who hears Brazilian music, it's common to respond in this. I'm gonna talk another thing about the first phrase. That's if you do the first phrase with a different answer, for example. People is gonna respond the same like you, okay? But it's common this. Let me do on the farm. Another interesting phrase that's common in baião, it's the use of the sixth. They often, besides using the fifth going to the one, they often use the sixth going to the one. So it goes. All right. Other thing we can use on the pedal also, it's to transform the chord in dominant chords, alter chords. For example. You can use this, or the altered scale, okay, the Dondin scale you can transform according dominant, okay, and if your pianist recognize it, he's gonna try to comp you with the same scale. All right. That is another thing that I remind now. Change chords. If you paid a lot of attention, you're gonna realize that there was some pieces of the theme that I usually go to the same place, and I always try to solve some places that I realize I'm addicted in playing the same thing, okay? And the part of the piece is on at the end of Cissus. Let's do all the dynamics, all the exercise using just this part. And so I'm gonna use now the syncopations. And then I work in this piece of the theme that I have more difficult, and I can apply more concepts, like using triads, for example. can use that like they are in. We have an interval of pitch below. We can try to study some transposition of the same phrase. That's it. This part that you studied, that to get out of the same place, often you're gonna take some days to do new things on it. Sometimes you get this little addiction. I don't know if it's the right word in English, but in Portuguese we say like that. We are addicted to do the same thing in the same place. Let me try to mixture this all of these sounds, the 80 note, these cliches, the syncopation, and try to improvise using all these ideas. return to the time. Oh, this was Casa Forte from Edu Lobo, and we show some manners to improvise in a modern baiao theme using some traditional resources together. If you want to know more about this and other subjects, please subscribe my channel, The Brazilian Accent Improvisation. I am in YouTube, I'm in Facebook and Instagram, all days, talking about some subject about Brazilian music, okay? Thanks for watching and see you tomorrow. Bye.